Have you ever lost something and felt a piece of you was lost with it? Or maybe you've held on to someone so tightly, terrified of the day they might leave. The ancient philosopher Epictetus had some profound wisdom on this. He suggested we should see the things and people we love, not as permanent possessions, but as temporary gifts, like a breakable glass. That way, when they eventually break or leave, we remember their fragile nature and aren't overwhelmed by sorrow. Let's explore this idea through the story of Aemon, a master glassblower. His greatest creation wasn't for a king or a cathedral, but a simple, iridescent vase he called the Nebula Vase. It sat on his mantelpiece, shimmering with impossible colors, a swirl of violet and gold. Aemon loved that vase. He was Emin, the man who made the Nebula Vase. But this love was heavy. It was a constant knot of anxiety in his chest. Every time the floor creaked, he imagined the vase falling. When his happy golden retriever, Jasper, bounded through the room, Aemon would yell, his breath caught in his throat. He dusted it with trembling hands, obsessed with preserving its perfection. The vase, once a thing of beauty, had become a source of endless fear. He was treating a fragile object as if it were eternal, and the strain was breaking him. This suffocating fear wasn't just for the vase. His daughter, Elena, was about to leave home to study in the capital. Aemon found himself clinging to her with the same desperate grip. He'd lecture her about the dangers of the world, his fears becoming a heavy blanket he tried to smother her with. His hugs weren't loving. They were attempts to stop time, to keep her anchored in his home forever. He saw her presence not as a precious gift for a season, but as a right he was terrified to lose. One evening, Aemon was drinking tea from a cheap clay mug. The handle snapped. The mug shattered on the floor. He looked at the pieces and felt nothing. No panic, no pain. It was just clay. It was meant to be brittle. Swept it up. As he did, his eyes fell upon the Nebula Vase. A lightning bolt of clarity struck him. The priceless glass was no different from the cheap clay. Physics dictated that one day, whether in 10 years or 10 minutes, it too would break. He closed his eyes and made a powerful mental shift. He looked at the vase and told himself, it is already broken. By accepting its inevitable destruction, the fear vanished. Suddenly, he could just enjoy the way the firelight danced on its surface without the constant dread of its end. It was alone from the universe, beautiful precisely because it was temporary. He then thought of Elena. She wasn't his possession either. She was a soul entrusted to his care for a time, not a statue to be kept in his garden forever. On the morning of her departure, Aemon didn't cling. He didn't weigh her down with his anxieties. He hugged her firmly, cherishing the warmth of that single, perfect moment. As he kissed her forehead, he reminded himself that he was kissing a fellow traveler on life's journey, not a permanent fixture in his world. "Go well," he said, his voice steady. He watched her walk away, not with bitterness for the time that was ending, but with immense gratitude for the time he'd been given. He went back inside, past the shimmering vase. A gust of wind slammed the door shut, rattling the shelf. The vase trembled. Aemon simply smiled and sat down, content to enjoy the beautiful light while it lasted. If this story resonated with you, let me know in the comments. And for more stories that explore life's big questions, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.